and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oh my god. Wait, I'm a little bit in shock. I didn't even notice what was happening. Welcome back to the semifinals of the PiGosaur Monday number 16. And Dark, has he joined the likes of everyone else that's off racing his Protoss? Clem has been doing it, of course. Eva, Rainer as well, Jaime, and many others have been off racing his Protoss to avoid certain matchups. And Dark, he might be doing it as well. Let's go. As sporting in the top right hand corner, not for the first time, we've seen him do it before. We have the South Korean, typically Zerg, but now Protoss player. It is Dark. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. He's crazy. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. As a reminder, we're here in the semifinals, and this is crazy. This is wild. I see someone asking in the chat, is this live? Yes, this is live. We always cast live. If it's ever, we never have a rebroadcast. If we're casting from replays, it is stated in the title of the stream. So it would be like after. It would be like maybe before the weekly Open Cup, but after my name. So like it'd be like PiGosaur Monday 16 replay cast weekly Open Cup sort of thing. But yeah, if it doesn't say replay cast in the title, then no, it's live. As always it is live here on the Cranky Ducklings. Here we go. Welcome one and all to our ZVP. I don't know if I'm ready for this map. Now, again, we have casted Dark play Protoss before. We've casted like Maru play Protoss before. Like they've both off raced in the past. But it's been a while. I think it's been like maybe a year. Like maybe a year since I've casted Dark's Protoss. So I can't really speak to how he typically plays this out. What I can say is that Dark did not off race previously. Against Percival, for example, but typically we see players off race to avoid mirror matchup. That's usually like when it's done, usually when they do decide to play Protoss. And yeah, we're doing it again. Here we go. Stargate opener out of Dark. Yo, we're playing standard. We're setting up for a gate cyber into Stargate into a third base, and I am excited to see where Dark takes us from here. I'm excited. Notice when traveling, bets are related to where I am. Yes. For those that are curious, betting on Twitch or predictions on Twitch are banned in certain locations of the world. I think they're banned in Germany. So you're not able to predict in Germany. I think it's also in Singapore. You can't predict in Singapore. You can't predict in certain areas of Southeast Asia. I believe that is the case, depending on what country you're in. Which might mean technically, if you VPN, you might be able to predict. If you're like in a country like Singapore, if you use the VPN, you might be able to predict there. Using VPN, maybe, hard to say. I feel like testing would be required. Regardless, third base now to be thrown down for Dark, and SHIN, he's here to attempt to delay said third. Imagine if they both off race and ended up in a mirror matchup anyways. True. I mean, I think we spoke about this, right? I think that's now like become more of an interesting like thing to discuss, is because so many people are off racing now and so many people are avoiding like TVTs or ZVZs. Like what happens if they attempt to off race against each other? And we were discussing like who's able to decide to off race first, because like if they both decide to off race, then they don't want that, so they switch back to their main race, and then they both switch to their main race, and like sort of thing, right? Like how does that unfold? It's hard to say. It's a unique situation that we've never had in StarCraft, right? Where a player wants to off race to avoid a matchup, but if both players avoid the matchup, then they end up in a matchup they also want to avoid, right? So most likely that situation hasn't occurred before. But as more people are off racing as Protoss, the chances of that situation occurring at a competitive tournament is higher, and a rule will most likely have to be implemented for that when it comes to who's able to decide first if they want to off race. Like that's most likely what's going to have to happen kind of like the veto process, where like X player, based on seeding or based on or whatever reason, or maybe like a coin flip, X player decides first, and then the other player decides, and then you candle switch from there. Like it most likely something like that would have to happen when it comes to like a rule change. That hasn't happened yet, as we haven't encountered that situation. But again, as I just mentioned, was Lings do get 4 probes, nicely done here by Shin. But like as this becomes more of a regular occurrence, the chances of that situation arising is going to be higher.
Game pause.
As we do get a bit of a pause. Get 4 probe kills. Hopefully everything is okay. We have had pauses from Dark in the past in relation to his daughter, where something happens and he's got to go look after, you know, maybe like a nappy change or just making sure that everything's okay at home. So we have had to do that before. So hopefully everything's okay. Papa Dark, you know, gotta be a papa, gotta be a papi even. Este papi Dark, all good. Okay. Controls regulation. Yeah. Like it's fine. Live service in country. I mean, I don't think I would say that's fair whatsoever. I mean, that's all they have to do, right? Like that's like saying, wow, like Netflix, you know, they're not really enforcing their rules if they're allowing, you know, people to VPN to like watch The Office from the UK when they're living in the Americas or something. Like that's not.
Game resumed.
I mean, like using a VPN is honestly like a really rare and a really niche thing. Like especially when you take into greater context how many people use the internet. Like it's very, very few people like actually have access and actually do that. So I think like what they do is probably like enough of a deterrence to be like impactful enough to meet the requirements of said nation. Regardless, we are back. Oracles move out. They catch out 2 of the queens. 2 queens do fall. And from here, Shin is going into Ling Hydra. Well, with some safety roaches, just to be safe and secure. Also, I was so focusing on like Dark playing Protoss, I didn't actually talk about the map. Welcome one and all to Erehome. Erehome is, of course, one of the new TLMC maps that's going to be used for this tournament map pool. Lings, they do collapse in, catching out the Stalkers. So far, one Stalker gets surrounded. Very nice catch. He gets one. Does not quite get the other. As Lings, they do pivot away. And behind this, we do have Dark going to be securing himself, going not just into +1 Blink Stalkers, into a 4th base, into Storm. So this is a more tech-heavy, more defensive style here out of Dark, as he is taking up and is securing himself. Likewise, he's just going to be poking in, but he has nothing really to threaten the bases of Shin. We go. Stark does pull away. Stark does poke in. Shaves off a couple of Lings. Likewise, Shin, he's going to be committing. And right now, Dark is vulnerable. No Storm. Storm is going to finish up in a couple of seconds, but here comes Shin. He pushes in. He's going for the 4th base, and it looks like he should at least get a kill. Yeah, Darky gives up. He pulls away. Still building on more Storm, and the expansion, it's going to go down. Nice pick off here from Shin. The question becomes, can Shin get more damage? Can he do more from here? Going to be rotating, trying to collapse in from multiple angles. Storm going up. Yeah, Storm does go up, but alas, Shin, he does break through. And then there's just not enough Storms. Not enough Storms. GG going to get called, and Shin, he will break through the defensive line and take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Shin looking to just break on through, looking to commit. Basically, almost a 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in there by Shin. Dark, he was getting ready for a longer game. Dark, he was gearing up, he was teching, he was calming down, working up towards 4-base saturation. Dark, he was caught with his pants down. Again, he barely did not have Storm in time to protect the 4th base. And even with his Storms, we saw he did not have enough to defend the 3rd as well. So GG, well played. Dark Punisher trying to be more economic and more macro focused. Bappy, you're up against a Korean Zerg player. You should know this yourself. You're the it's like, Dark, you're crazy. We gotta slow down. We gotta either be more aggressive early on to keep up, or take a different approach. We'll see. We'll see if Dark commits to Protoss, and we'll see if he does go for a more assertive style this time. As again, SHIN is the kind of player to punish you. If you show any kind of weakness, SHIN is going to be there to punish, to knock you down, and here we go. Oh. Now we're getting into game 2. Just making sure we invite everyone, making sure we get everyone involved. Good to go. Beautiful. And game 2 is going to be on Starchild. Dark is tough. Yes. Dark is one of the many players off race against Protoss. And he commits. He's not switching back. He is not switching back. Let's go. This morning, in the top right hand corner of Starchild, we have the South Korean Protoss player. I mean, usually he's Zerg, but here he's off racing as Protoss. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. Maxfax has perfected a very similar build. Maxfax doesn't play like how Dark did. If you're referring to going for, I would say going for like a storm-based follow-up, that is true. We have seen that quite a bit. Usually Maxfax is more assertive though, with initially blink stalkers to gain map control first. But we are loading into a much larger map. Much larger map this time. I should have emphasized that as well. Airhome is a very small map in the map pool. Now we move into a much larger one instead, and we'll see if Dark can actually get into a later game state here, or not. Like, usually Maxfax, he plays, I mean, I say more assertive, he plays more defensive in a sense, where he delays his 4th base, he builds up a greater army first before expanding. Takes a different approach. Once again, though, I'm curious and I'm excited to see how Dark does play this out. Show us how to Protoss, Bappy. Show us how. I'm ready for it. As I believe we already have our finals. Yes. So other casters have joined us because the upper semifinals has concluded. Here, he just took down Jumi 2-0. And a hero is waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this series. For the winner of either Dark or SHIN. Which means we only have one more series left after this. Uno más, papi. Uno más. Here we go. You're my favorite SC2 caster. Keep up the good work. Ah, thank you, Papi. Thank you. Do appreciate it. When to place bets in Twitch chat only. Yeah. Do apologize for those that are watching like on YouTube or on TikTok or on Facebook. Currently, predictions are only available in Twitch chat. Do apologize. Only in Twitch chat. So far, Stargate opener. Here we go. Stargate out of Dark. Stargate opener into a 3rd base. Everything so far looking standard from the side of our Protoss player. Now, if Dark does open up Void Ray first, then Dark could try to, of course, deny vision, deny scouting, and take it a different direction. But winding it back here, I do think that if Dark tried to play the same way they did previously in Game 1, he's going to be more successful here on Starchild. As I mentioned before, Airhome is a very small map, so SHIN going for an all-in and being hyper-committed last game, the map does favor that just because of the rush distance by ground. Here, these bases are more defendable, longer rush distance as well, so if Dark wanted to embrace a longer game, this would be ideal for him. Assuming he goes for the same style, we'll see if he does. We shall see. As the Oracle has arrived, Dark initially being very safe, keeping the Oracle back at home. This again is a little bit too safe here, but regardless is now moving on. Here we go. The Oracle does push, third base has been thrown down. So Dark not taking any chances, doesn't take any risks. He delays his aggression in favor of expanding. Now moves out. Queens are keeping up, and so far SHIN, he will deflect the Oracle. Oh, despite that, will lose. Oh, no! Oh my god. Dark overextends. Oh my god, does overextend, takes a lot of extra hits, and will go down to 7 HP. He did not get the drone. That was not worth it here, and Dark, he's forced back. Ay, ay, ay. Bit of miscontrol there from Dark with the Oracle. Forced back home. Back at home, SHIN is going Evo Chamber first into +1 melee. This should be for Ling Hydra. Typically, when you go into +1 melee like this, your goal is to skip roach production. There is a safety roach warren, but I would imagine he wants to avoid roaches here. Has it for safety, most likely going to be taking up further from here. Most likely. We'll keep an eye on SHIN. Technically, this can also lead into mutas. Because this map is so large, muta play is more viable as well. True, bear that in mind. As Darky does commit to extra weapons of Adepts. Moving out with 6 vanilla Adepts, and behind this +1 and Twilight Council looks like Blink and +1. Looks like a standard follow-up here. As Adepts move out, the Lings are also being active. They are spotted by the Oracles. Darky is going to commit. As Oracles, they dive in. They don't quite get the Queen. But Adepts, they shade into the main. Likewise, Lings are keeping up, and Darky does not get into the mineral line. He does not get economic damage. Oh, doesn't do so. One Oracle goes down. Oh, gets a second. Too many losses. Too many losses here. 2 Oracles for the Adepts as well. SHIN shuts down the aggression of Dark, and now Dark is vulnerable. Because he lost so much, that means Dark has that much less to defend the third base. Thankfully, SHIN is droning. Thankfully, SHIN is just running up. Is going to be counterattacking, that is true, but focusing on saturating. Lair is on the way, +1 melee. And Darky is in trouble. No shield battery either. Lings, they don't quite engage. Again, SHIN, he wasn't committing. He was just poking in. Forces the warp in. Yes, good night, Papi. Good night. SHIN backs off, and here it is, as we mentioned, Hydra dead on the way. Again, like, this Roach Warren was just for safety. There's no Roach speed. We're just going straight for Hydras for Ling Bane Hydra instead. Like, typically in this matchup, if you're going to avoid making Roaches, you do want to, unless you're going for, like, specifically a Roach-based all-in. If you're going for a longer game, you just skip Roaches entirely, straight into Hydras, straight into Hive Tech, into Lurker Tech as well. So SHIN is gearing up for a longer game state. He's in a very comfortable position. The pressure is on Dark to get some economic damage. Does shade in across the map and does get 2 drones so far, but only 2. 2 drones to 2 Adepts. Better trade for SHIN. Shuts Dark down. And Hydras are amassing. Hydras are building up. As now we have Storm on the way for Dark, setting up for a 4th base, looking to expand. But again, because of the earlier losses for Dark, SHIN, he has been free to drone up. And how many drones does SHIN have? 82. 82 workers. He's basically at the ideal worker count. So SHIN is done droning, and now can just focus on purely army production and teching as well. Just pure Ling Hydra. I would say this one he can afford tech. There it is. Invasagement's on the way. Into a hive, into lurkers. Like SHIN, he's free to just tech up. And again, because the map is so large, that's also why he's being a little bit more tentative when it comes to committing and pushing. But here we go. 18 Banelings on the way. Here comes SHIN. He's coming. Did Dark get inspired by Rainer's Protoss? No, he got inspired by Jim Rising, papi, by Jaime. Let's go. And also Iba. I think Rainer got inspired by them as well. SHIN moves out. Again, this is not the first time that that we've casted Dark play Protoss. Or Mario. Again, we've casted Mario play Protoss as well. For those who remember, was it last year or the year before that? We casted Mario versus Percival PvT. It was crazy. Before Clem was off racing, Maru was off racing. Aye, aye, aye. It's also why we don't see Maru play in open cups, otherwise he just play Protoss. Not like this. As we get the double storms, not bad. Storms here on the Ling Bane. But Shin, he denies the fourth. That's all he wants. Bearing in mind, all that Shin wants is deny the fourth base. Deny the fourth base over and over again. Just contain Dark on 3 bases. Dark, he attempts to run by, attempts to expand. Shin, he's soon to max out. Getting to lurkers. Hive is done for the Hive upgrades as well. And again, Shin, he doesn't have to push into this. He doesn't have to push into the stasis traps, into the storms, into the site defense. No, just the fourth. The fourth is all he really wants. So, este niño. Good to see you. Siempre. So, Ramais, they get 5 drones. Not bad. They do distract Shin. They do drag him back home. Ramais, they continue. Again, Dark doing everything he can to distract his opponent to actually expand and get a base. Fleet beacons on the way. Double robot, double immortal production. Dark, he's attempting to set up and max out, but Dark needs more time. And here come the lurkers. Nice storms. That's big as well. Gets 1 lurker. 1 lurker goes down. Oh, Dark, he does take some swords to the face. Sorry, Shin takes some swords to the face, I should say. I'm just used to saying Dark is a Zerg. Shin takes the storms. Dark, he's holding. These lurkers, they are exposed. They're vulnerable. Have a still rough trades for Dark. He's still lacking immortals. He's lacking those immortals. Blinks in, gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. And Dark, he is holding. More Hydras have arrived. At the same time, Shin pushing on the right hand side, going for a bailing run by. Collapses on the Hydras, takes a lot of storms, but we're running out of storms. Dark, he's running out. And Shin, has he barely broken through. There's 1 high temple left, the final storm. And there's still lurkers. There's still lurkers remaining. At the same time, Dark going for a massive counterattack. Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. And Dark, he defends back at him. He has immortals. He has the immortal. He holds. Dark, he holds. He saves the expansion, but oh, he will lose a couple of probes in the process. 8 probes going down. Saves the 4th. And back across the map, 5 drones that fall to that Zealot run by. Now, Dark, he survives. That is true, he's surviving. He's not quite living, though. Like, he's still in a very rough position. Nice contamination here on the Robo. Nice contamination here. To delay immortal production. So they threaten the dive. Go for the dive. Likewise, they'll say bust into the mineral line. Once again, getting 5 more drones. Likewise, Shin, he's going to be committing. Oh! Ooh, I say that stasis goes off. Catching up more Hydras. Storms as well. The storms! Dark, he's gonna take this fight. He shuts down Shin. Yeah, Shin, he crumbles. He crumbles here before the might here of Immortal Archon Storm. Again, this composition here it actually can do quite well against lurkers. And with that, Shin, he will lose everything. And Dark, he's stabilizing. Remember, for a long time, Dark, he was fighting for his 4th. Now he has it. The 4th base is up and running, which means Dark, he can afford to max out. He now has the economy for it. He just needs a little bit more time to build up. He's also hoping that Shin keeps trading the way that he has, that he just rams his face against the brick wall that is Dark, and then Dark can overwhelm, and then counterattack. So Shin, he is in a bit of trouble here. The advantage that he once had isn't as there anymore. He still has the advantage of map control, that is true, and he still has the greater economy, but what's he doing with that economy? He needs to tech up. The best answer to this would be Broodlords, but there is a Spire, there is no greater Spire. So Shin is committing to Hydrolica Viper. No Vipers yet, which is also becoming a problem. So purely Ling Hydra Lurker is what I should say. And Dark, he will soon break out. And this is a death blow of an army, by the way. We've seen many a Zerg player crumble to this. Even several in Raynor. To this kind of army composition. Again, if you were watching Master Colosseum, you would have seen that. And yeah, I'm a little bit concerned here for Shin. Now, the best case scenario for him is to not push in, but take a fight out of the open. Like, take a fight with a surround. Come in from multiple angles. Oh, snipes a couple of High Templar. Not bad. Not a bad start. Gonna try to commit in. Massive slow zone. Storm's gonna be popping up. Again, I don't think Shin should be fighting here. Does pull away. Takes a little storms to the face. At least did snipe some High Templar. But Shin, he doesn't back off. Morphing in more lurkers, and Shin, he wants to commit again. And in a way, this is giving Dark what he wants. Not saying that Shin can't break through this tight defense and this position, but it's quite difficult to pull this off. And there it is, a Greater Spire, thankfully. Greater Spire's on the way. As we mentioned, the best answer to this kind of composition is Broodlords. And Shin is getting ready for Broodlords. Getting ready for that transition. Needs more time. The lurkers are moving in. Gaining ground. Dark, he does abandon this location. He rotates instead. He's going for a counterattack. The fourth base is going to go down. Shin, he notices, he pulls back. Dark, he's on creep. And Shin, he's hoping for a surround. Dark, he does get the revelation off. He's aware. Dark, he's supply blocked. He cannot max out. Basically has a maxed army. Fourth base does fall. And Dark is all in. The Bailings! Oh! Oh my god. Okay, we're good. Dark, he harasses on the right hand side. Bleeding out some units. Dark, he pulls back home. And Shin is holding. Because the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Shin, as Dark is now stuck on 3 bases. Ideally, if Dark was still in a 4-base economy, he could actually afford to reduce like some Tempest, some carriers. He has 3 Stargates. Like, he was thinking of a Skytoss transition, but he can't afford it. Not without a 4th. So Dark, he cannot afford Skytoss. He's rotating once again. Shin throwing down a wall stack defense. Now Shin, he is vulnerable towards the left-hand side, but Dark isn't pushing. Just a 9 creep. Going for run-bys. Dark still taking it slow. Still taking it slow here. Shin pulls away. Denies the expansion. Shin rotates. There's Dark is keeping up. Oh! Catching out the Bailings, not a bad stuff for Dark. Corruptors, they dive in, they go for the Mothership. Cloak gets activated. Mothership, ooh, is gonna survive? Up! It's gonna be close! Mothership, it will barely live. That was a big investment here from Shin. Shin, how many Corruptors did he throw away? Zelta hit the right hand side, Zelta hit the left as well. Drone's gonna be going down, the base is exposed, Shin out of position. That was how many? That was 8. 8 Corruptors for nothing. 8 corruptors for shields and a bit of hull damage. 16 more corruptors on the way. Now, what I'm most concerned by, because this is a big reaction out of SHIN, 16 corruptors, that's a low supply. That's a low supply that does not shoot down. And this is mainly a ground army. Remember, there's no sky toss, only a mothership and a couple of oracles. So SHIN, he has to morph in broodlords. He needs broodlords with this. Otherwise, it's going to turn into dead supply. Mothership goes down. But again, that was 16 corruptors. Okay, looks like he's getting ready for broodlords. Darky rotates. I assumed he was. Gets revelation of how many lurkers? 18. Is that enough? Storm's on the island. A panic storm as well. Immortals, they push in, they bring down the base. Oof. One Immortal does go down. Some brutal spine shots. Brutal spine shots going off. Darky rotates, gets around. Oh no! Catches out the lurkers. Lurkers getting picked up. And there's what? 4 lurkers left, down to 3. Uh-oh. Yeah, if any lurkers remaining, 2 lurkers left. He breaks through. No more lurkers in position. A SHIN going for a desperation nidus across the map. He's going for the base raid. He's going for the base raid instead. And here come those broodlords. They arrived just in time. The broodlords, they have arrived. And there's no answer to this. This is SHIN's win condition. The supplies are close. They're very close, but the soup does lie. Because one army is not like the other. Broodlords can shoot down. Immortals do not shoot up. And SHIN is going to hold. Across the map, snipes everything. Forces a recall. Lurkers still wreaking havoc. And SHIN, he can just keep going. Can just keep pushing it again. Darky has no economy for a proper sky toss. As he's losing every single probe. Probes are going down. Broodlords, they find the only fresh mining base here of Dark. Really the only mining base. And SHIN is breaking through it again. If SHIN hadn't prepared for broodlords, he could have just died here and now. It would have been over. But no, the broods are here. Lurkers, they keep going. Sniping more tech. Dark completely all in. He can try to go for the elimination. But again, Dark, he can never fight this army. Is the problem here. He can avoid it for as long as he can, but not forever. As Dark, he's looking for more bases. Diving on the army. Yo, let's go. We have the cloak. Let's go. Like, Darky's fighting very well here. Only because there aren't any broodlords. And how about they arrive? They have arrived. Storms on the corruptors. Mothership taking a lot of hits. Oh, nice fighting storms. Oh my god. The storm drop. Storm drop comes in. The broodlord's down to half HP. One broodlord goes down. Gets 2, but there's nothing left. GG gets called. Good effort here by Dark, but SHIN will take the series 2-0. SHIN will advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive play there by Dark, as he did have SHIN on the ropes. Dark, he was trading better, he was taking better fights back at home, he was harassing across the map, he was popping off. He was popping off. And with that, SHIN did eventually, of course, tech up into broodlords in time. Once he got there, I mean, it was all uphill for SHIN. If he hadn't had the Greater Spire, then different game. I do think that potentially Dark could have just won the game there, then and there, even if there were lurker reinforcements. But against a Sky Zerg army, Dark had no answer. Remember, because he was losing bases, no Skytels. He had 3 Stargates. He had the Fleet Beam, but he could not afford Tempest. He could not afford carriers. Not in that kind of game state. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting into the grand finals. We have 1 series left here in the tournament. It's going to be a PvZ between Hero and SHIN. Let's go.